Hello all, this is Raj Misa. So welcome to the lesson 2. So we are live here on Facebook in our secret group, and also we are live here on YouTube. So let's get started. The problem with stress. So let's keep our brain 1, 2, 3 model in mind. So as we start to look at the challenges that happen when stress starts to get in the way, remember, we don't want to think about stress as being bad or good, but just a gap that exists between demand and capacity, just like in the lesson 1 we discussed. So it's really just information that the brain is using to tell us something that needs to be adjusted. So if we think we have the ability to make those adjustments, it's not a big deal. This type of stress is what we could call tame or tolerable. It can even give us a little extra energy boost to bridge the gap. When we have the resources to cope and we take some sort of action, stress is temporary. And that kind of stress could be helpful. We can think of this as acute stress, what is resolved within short period of time. So the problem really starts to occur when we either don't believe it, we have what we need to cope, so we just push it down and hope it goes away, or the problem continues unresolved for too long and it becomes chronic or long-term in nature. So while acute stress can actually give us energy to adapt, chronic stress turns against us in an effort to protect us. So instead of having more energy, more focus, and better immune function, when stress lingers, we start to feel exhausted, distracted, and can even start to get sick. In fact, it's this chronic stress that's responsible for the majority of medical visits too. You get to visit a doctor because of stress which is quite chronic, and actually it costs us hundreds of billions of rupees every year. So another aspect of stress that's designed to be helpful but ends up being hurtful is it's highly contagious. Have you ever felt someone else stress when they walk in the room? How about picking up stress through an email or a text message? I joke about the fact that stress is a way more contagious than the flu, but it's really not that funny. We spread stress to each other all the time, and we pick it up too. So, which makes it feel even more chronic. So, overwhelming and out of control at times is the kind of stress which we go through in our daily lives. So, one last issue I want to bring up about stress is it's super addictive too. I know that may sound crazy, but stress actually acts on the same reward pathways in the brain as other addictive substances. Think about it. Your brain really wants to remember things that are stressful so that you'll avoid them in the future. So the energy we get from stress can become addictive when we feel like we are already tired or we are always tired and wired. So I have so many clients who tell me that they need the stress just to survive, and they even start to panic a little bit when they think I might try to take it away. So here's what I want you to remember. So please remember this: stress isn't bad or stress isn't good at all. Am I right in saying that? So stress is just information and energy we can use to make adjustments. Stress becomes a problem when we feel helpless to do anything about it. When we have got too much of it at once, or when it goes on for too long, we just need to get clear about what's really happening. So when we say things like I feel stressed, because stress isn't really a feeling, it's actually inside we can do something with. When we know that it needs to be implemented, or when we know that it's actually an insight we can do something about or something with, that's when we can actually use stress for good. So be conscious and be aware of what exactly stress is. All you need to do is take a deep breath. We'll come to that in later sections of this particular course. I'll see you in the lesson 3. And signing off, Raj Misa, take care.